What's up, gang? Carlton Flowers here, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And this is going to be a premium update preview, just with the straight dope, telling you exactly what I think of the charts and giving you some very good information as I see things develop, and leaving out all of the editing so I can just get straight to the point. So this is what you'll get when you join on the member level. Whenever I see something happening that I think is significant, I'll throw a video up as quickly as possible with the goal of just getting you the information to let you know what I think and to help you think clearly through what we see happening on the charts. And I also want you to post in the comments and let me know if you would like this format for the premium members who are going to be able to join very soon. So let me know. I'm still tweaking the process and deciding how I'm going to bring this information. And for right now, I'm assuming that for the premium members, you want the information as often as possible without all of the frills. So here we are on the Bitcoin chart, and we are looking at some serious action here with the 4 hour. After that last video, let's talk about a few things that have transpired since then. First of all, after we had danced around the red dash line right here, I said that we were looking at two possible actions that would happen. And I said the first one, which I thought was the 60% chance, was that we were going to get rejected and move down, but that there was a possibility that we could move up and try to make it back to this volume node, which we did. So what are we looking at now? We are jumping up above the 200 EMA line. It's been quite a while since way back in August, at about August the 18th or 19th, when we dipped below both the 200 and the 50 EMA averages. Now we're above it. So here we are, where the stochastic had crossed over and now it's dipped back up positive. So it looks like the momentum is moving up, and we are right in the thick of this volume node. Now, one of two things can happen from here. We either go up or we go down. That's obvious, but what are the chances? What are the probabilities from this point? Well, we'll either jump up from here and move to this small volume node that is about, 23,500. And notice that there is a red line. There is a descending line here. And this is a point that would bring us right up to the purple dashed line. All right. Now, we could also experience a rejection in the middle of nowhere, where we come off of this volume node and get pulled back down to the point of control price. Notice that this node here is a lot bigger than what we have with the smaller node up here. However, the momentum is on the side of the positive movement. So looking at the MACD, we still have a nice divergence right here, where the blue line is sailing above the orange line. But we do have the light green bars forming on the histogram. Okay, and the oscillators are well above. This is a bullish movement right here. And this is kind of a conflicting indicator, because the blue line is still sailing up and it's trying to pull up and away from that orange line again. But at the same time, we're moving down and printing the light green on the histogram. What is the price doing? The price is flat to moving up. So here we have this nice little green candle that is forming right now, that is topped off right dead smack at the biggest volume node at 21,491. So it kind of tells me that it's fighting away from these light green bars as we move towards the zero line on the histogram. So I would have to say that it's really a 50-50 shot. Maybe we could go 55% that we're going to bump up and try to find this volume node, 45% that we get snatched back down to the point of control price, where the biggest volume node exists on the 4 hour chart. Now, let's flip this up to the 1 day chart and see what it looks like from this standpoint. On this chart, we can see clearly that we have just touched down and wicked above the 50 EMA right here. You see that line? There we go. We also have two very bullish indicators downstairs. We see that the stochastic is really divergent and it's just blasting straight off, trying to head back up into the overbought zone, which would be up here above the 80 line. Notice there's no curvature on the blue line, so momentum is strong. It's not like what we normally see where it starts to curve off here. You see how we curve off? We're still running straight up. This is a straight line moving up, trying to make it to the oversold, overbought zone. We also have a very bullish crossover right here on the oscillators for the MACD, and we are printing some strong dark green candles on the histogram. This tells me that there is probability that is higher for trying to test this purple line again instead of getting snatched back down to the large volume node here or to the point of control price that is sitting at 21,500. Okay, what do we have up above? We've got this downward trend line, and this is going to be the big test. This is what I'm waiting to see what happens, and when we zoom out to the 1 week chart, it's going to be a lot more evident and clear. So I am thinking that from these indications and how strong the positioning is for the MACD that's down here at the bottom to blast out of this oversold zone and to move back up to the zero line, combined with this very strong stochastic here, it looks like we're going to try to jump upstairs and test this descending parallel trading channel line. And it's no coincidence that this matches up right where the purple dashed line will cross. Now, let's jump to the 1 week chart, and then we will be able to determine, hey, is that a stopping point? Will we get rejection at this line? Or will we have enough momentum or indicators that'll tell us that we might move above the purple dash line and go to the black dash line? All right, here we are on the 1 week chart. Let's scrunch it down so we can see this a little bit more clearly. What do we have? Well, it looks to me like there is a hint of a crossover coming right here on the stochastic. The blue line is below the orange, but notice how it's curling up. We also have a very strong looking MACD. Now we had that long descending sloping line here, the blue line, where we have started from the peak here. You don't see it on the chart, and we kept bouncing and testing this descending line 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and we're touching it right now. But we have some very weak dark green candles happening here on the histogram. What that tells me is that there's a major move about to happen. Once you have this big explosion here, and then the impending waves get smaller and smaller and smaller, it says that we're coiling up for a big move. Will it be up or will it be down? That is the question. Well, let's see here. Let's look upstairs and see what we have. We've got this big volume node right here at 30,000. Okay, and that would take us to the black dashed line. But will we make it above the downward trending trading channel? So the biggest thing that I have on this chart that's going to tell the whole story, we've got this line and this line that gives us all of the action since the peak. So we bounce up and down within this channel right here. This is the parallel trading zone. And I tend to think that we stay within that zone until we get up above that line. So what I will need to see is a break of this line where we go above the purple dash line. Then we could possibly find a support at the purple dash line and move up to test the black dashed line. That is the question. Let's scrunch this down just a little bit further and see what we can see. So overall, we're still in a bear market. All right. The momentum is downward. Everything on this chart says that we are in downward action. All right. And we could possibly come up to this point right here and test that line. Now, what happens after that point? That's where we need to pay attention. When this crossover happens and this stochastic goes bullish, how far will it push up the price? And will we finally launch away from this downward trending line that has dictated the peaks on the MACD oscillators? That is the question. Now, if we get rejected at the purple dash line, then I think we're going to go back downstairs and pop off to this volume node. And then if things get ugly in the world markets, that's where we could go downstairs and find this volume node down below. Is the bottom in? I don't know. But one thing that you must consider, and there's 50-50 split of the big prognosticators that are saying the bottom is in, and some people who are saying that no, we are going to head down for much deeper price levels. Here it is right here. We have a double bottom. All right. So you've touched down already at the $17,000 level here. And then we touched down again right here where we dropped below the $18,000 level. Is that a confirmation of a double bottom and an indicator that we start to move up? I don't know. The reason why I'm unsure of that and why I don't trust it is because we are too early in the bear market. There is a chance that this bear market could drag on for another several months. And with the news that is out right now, let me tell you what, there's some things brewing. We've got action with the Evergrande situation, where Evergrande Hong Kong has been seized by the lender. $1.2 billion worth of real estate has now been seized by the Chinese banks for purposes of liquidating and covering those losses. That's not good. We also have the feds that are saying that they are going to lean more strongly to raise rates again to another 75-point rate hike. And they're saying that even if the CPI improves, it should not affect the September decision. So that means that we could see the Dow go down again. Now, let's look at the Dow Jones and the DXY and see if we can find some clues there. Here is the Dow Jones. We are moving up, but when that rate hike happens, we'll probably find ourselves back up to this blue line where we could get rejected. We most likely will be rejected because we've got some serious downward momentum going on with the oscillators. All right, now let's jump to the DXY, and this is very important here. We saw the big fat green candle happening on Bitcoin, but we don't see a big fat red candle happening with the DXY. This is not nearly as big of a movement as what you would consider with the opposite direction that Bitcoin has taken. Now, we do have a crossover that's being hinted here, but what DXY does will dictate the direction of the Bitcoin market. Will we correct all the way back down and come to touch this 50 EMA line? If we do, then Bitcoin is going to surge up to higher levels, and it could be a bear market rally. That does not mean that it's the end of the bear market. It just means that we could have a slight break, upward movement, until the DXY finishes this correction and then decides to blast back off. And the reason why I think it will is because the feds are going to continue raising the rates in order to combat the inflation that is happening. Overall, we're still in a huge romp. Look at the oscillators here on the MACD. Look at the overall action that wants to stay upstairs in the strong zone with the stochastic. That tells me that we are not done with the trend on the DXY. So overall, let's jump back to the Bitcoin chart and let's look at this one more time on the 1 week, and then this will conclude this premium update. Bear market rally could happen. We could come up to the black dash line, or we could come up just to this purple dash line. Either or, we'll have to wait and see. But let's watch for what happens when we get to the 50 EMA line here, because we could make it to 30,000. Notice how the 30,000 node is just above the black dashed line. If we make it up that far and then DXY decides to continue the romp, then we are going to continue the downward momentum and probably find our way to some of these lower volume nodes. This one here, we could revisit, and that downward momentum, if it's strong enough, that's where we could go down into the abyss. We also realize that we have a double bottom here, and this could mean that the bottom is in. If that's the case, we might see side banding that happens for months, or we might continue down to find this lower point. That's a 50-50 shot. It's too early to tell, and we're going to have to study this chart and see what happens for the rest of the month of September. Traditionally, September is a bloody month. I don't think we have made it out into the clear yet. That's why it's going to take a couple of weeks. It's going to take getting past the middle point to see what that last week of September is going to serve us out. So for now, it's a wait and watch. And I would say the caution flag is out. Be careful and know that you could get burnt. Because when we have, let's just look one more time at the 4-hour chart. There's one more thing that I wanted to mention here. When you have something that happens like this big fat green candle, this is a short squeeze. You got to know that the institutional investors are having fun with this, because when they force the price up like this, when everyone was thinking, just like me, that we were going to get a rejection and drop, they make a windfall amount of money. Anytime that the majority of people think that the movement is going to go in one direction, and there are tons of people who are playing on leverage, that represents the opportunity for the institutional investors and the exchanges to liquidate the shorts and make a pile of money. They clown the leverage traders every single time, to the point that I don't know why so many people play with leverage trading. It's the most dangerous thing in the world. But I guess the carrot stick is out there dangling, and people think they can make their windfall of money. But you got to consider that the institutions, and especially the leveraged exchange providers, they see what the bets are. And so if they see everyone lining up for shorts, they're going to turn around and squeeze it, and they're going to take their profits and run. All right, well, that's all I've got for now. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and give me feedback on what you would like to see with your premium content for whenever I roll out the membership levels. This is Carlton, and I am out.